I have just planted my first seedlings of the spring and I'm getting ready to water. I just have a few starting out because I really honestly don't have a whole lot of space. I don't have a yard or a porch or anything, or even a south-facing window, so I'll have to figure out what to do with these plants that need full sun. But I'm just starting out trying to germinate these seeds. I've got catnip and this one, catgrass and this one, and lavender and this one, and just going to try to see if I can germinate them and what comes of it. So I just sowed all the seeds in there, and like I said, I've got 6 for each plant because I'm not sure what to do with any extra plants. I don't know anybody that I could sell them to or give them away to, other than family. So I'll be back to water those in a little bit. I just grabbed some water from the tap, which is quite a bit cold, and I don't want to shock these plants, so I'll water them in a little bit after this has gotten a little bit to the outside temperature. In the meantime, I do want to go down to my parents' garden. I'm at my parents' house now, and just see my strawberries, which have spread quite a lot. So this is my parents' garden. It's mainly my dad's, and as you can see, like, there has not been a whole lot of maintenance taken yet in the season. They just came back from a long trip, and it's about that time where things need to be starting to happen. However, some of my plants that I brought back when I was back for the summer have died, which was expected because we went on a big trip last year. All except for my strawberry plant, which I found out, and I kind of knew this because they weren't really thriving at my apartment where I had them on my back porch, and I couldn't quite figure out why they were always wilting, which I thought was a sign that they needed more water. I have now learned that sometimes wilt can also mean too much water, and when we were on that trip last year, my aunt, who was supposed to be taking care of our garden, did not show, and so a lot of our plants died in the few weeks that we were out, except for my strawberries, which shot out baby plants, as you can see down here, that are doing really well, and also tripled in size. So I didn't get any strawberries last year, but these plants are doing quite well, and I think at the end of the season I'll be ready to cut these little shoots off. I don't know what they're called. I know if I were to hear them, I would hear the word, I would know, but I don't know what it's called right off the top of my head. But hopefully by droughting it a little bit this upcoming year, I should hopefully get some strawberries. Maybe. I'm not counting on a huge harvest or anything. I just kind of want to see what happens. So that's that. This is our peach tree, which has just now started to give us peaches within the past few years. However, we do have a pretty bad bug problem, and so a lot of our peaches, even though they got to size last year because we pruned back or thinned out some of the branches, they were all a little bit eaten up, and they had a lot of sugar that kind of like crystallized on the outside, if that makes sense. So I'm going to try and look up some different ways to prevent, I think it's ants that are doing it, but it may be something else. Try to troubleshoot that, because that would be super cool if we had peaches, and the blossoms are really pretty. I was not expecting to have blossoms so early in the season, especially when there's so few leaves on the tree. or it's more of a bush really, it's kind of grown outwards. And then we've got some blueberry bushes, which this is not really the best plot of land. It doesn't really get as much sun as it should for a really thriving garden, but we're doing what we can with what we have, and I'm hoping to make gardening more of a bigger hobby in my life, but for my parents it's just kind of a fun hobby, which we sometimes can get some food out of. But yeah, the blueberry bushes, not really anything super big. I think these are 2 years old. They're definitely super scraggly. I've seen blueberry bushes that are much huger than this, but occasionally we get about 10 to 12 berries, so oh well. Let's see. Our rosemary bush is actually really good. We grew this from one of those little baby planter pots that you get from Home Depot or Lowe's or Walmart, and over the years it has really grown, and I have no idea if we can cut this back or what. I don't know if cutting it back will make it a little bit less scraggly, as there's some pieces in here that are just a little bit too scraggly and a little dead looking, but it should be fine. We honestly don't really take a whole lot off of this, usually just to garnish, but I kind of wonder if we could cut off one of these whole long shoots. I don't know. That's again why I need to do some research, and I don't really know where to look online for that. I don't know if I've just not been looking in the right spot, or maybe I have been, but I haven't been listening or really reading carefully enough. And I don't even know what these are. This is kind of a mess. But, yep, that's pretty much it. I've got some, I believe this is Brussels sprouts. I have no idea. Maybe this is definitely some sort of kale or leafy greens. And we've got some asparagus that should be growing back, and I think there are some that are growing back a little bit, but I think that takes 2 or 3 years to mature, where you could cut the stalks, and we've had them for a couple of years. We had asparagus last year. So yep, that's about it. It's a mess over here, but we shall see. I'm always excited to see what my parents decide to put in their gardens, and I'm really excited to start a garden of my own and get really serious about it. So we'll see what happens out of that. And also, I hope they don't tear out these strawberries, because this is kind of a miracle. Like, this grew so long, and it planted so many little babies right here. And Jess from Roots and Refuge Farm always says that, like, plants want to grow, and I think this is a really great example of that, that they will find whatever way they can to grow, despite how much you mess up, in my case, overwatering these. So anyway, that's about it. I'll try to check in and show what progress is made around the summertime for this garden.